that I have going on. So like the only way to get a little bit better natural light was to lower this. Now the sun's fucking me in the face.
Uh-huh.
And I pulled this fucking light over here. But like I'd like the natural lighting, but
I would just like, oh,
just gonna keep it like this. Fuck it. We'll just do it like this.
okay.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining the MattCast
Here.
podcast.
Start.
I wanted to get it out of the way,
Okay.
fucking
For sure.
get the why I'm wearing sunglasses out in the
Yeah.
open now.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining the MattCast podcast. I am Matty Light, joined by my co-host Matty Heavy.
Okay.
Matty J.
All right.
Sorry,
Nope.
it's a long habit. I mean, we're
On
at
the
fucking
on the
episode.
side.
We're at episode 63, and we did it. I was all right. I'm a disappointment to my family. All right, is that what you want me to say? Um, well, yeah, thank you guys all for coming. Make sure to do the fucking YouTube stuff. Of like, subscribing, leaving a comment. Make sure to check out our live streams over on Twitch. We usually do some memes for a bit beforehand.
Shine.
Oh
And
god.
I know you don't like this.
And I have to drive too.
Like right away?
Not right away, but later.
Yeah, you're fine. It's a tiny shot glass.
Tiny shot glass.
Compared to the other shot glasses we have? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
tiny.
okay. I don't know, man. This is pretty big. I mean, some would say
Yeah.
huge.
Above average, honestly.
This is well above average.
Especially like how you use it. That's
yeah,
like the
yeah,
main thing.
That's the main thing. All right.
I don't think you cleared that.
Definitely
Hold
did.
up. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do you see here? I see a little left.
Fuck you. I love you.
Yeah, I know.
Say it back.
I love you too.
Fucking. All right. Pretty good week for on the professional sports side and college. Like,
Which it might as well be
yeah,
fucking professional. How fucking
honestly, dude.
um,
And then also like college basketball too. You even texted me about it.
it just
Yeah,
happened to be at the bar I was
yeah,
at. So I gotta watch
yeah.
the ending piece of it, which it didn't really even look like it was much of a game for
It
Kansas.
wasn't.
Yeah.
And I have a couple things I'm gonna say about that when we get there.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like got some college basketball to talk about now that football is starting to come to an end. I can start putting all my focus into the Big 12 basketball. But also this year, since I want to do an actual bracket, I'm gonna have to look back at all these games and like start doing some real science and like I'm gonna get a room with strings attached,
Yes.
and go full on manic mode to fucking do an actual bracket.
Mhm.
I might even put some money down on it
The thing
just
is,
to
if
see
you
what
do, I mean,
happens.
if you do the one, I think if you, there's a couple free ones you can do that you can still win
Yeah,
money.
I might just do the free ones then.
Yeah, just do the free ones,
Yeah,
especially for your first year, like committing to it,
yeah,
and then
because I've done like some bullshit brackets here and there,
sure,
but like
yeah,
nothing like an official statement where like I upload it for free and everything
hmm
like or
hmm
the free ones. I just kind of like put it together myself and just kind of had it there and tracked it
yes,
myself.
yeah,
But I might try and get another whiteboard easel,
mm,
but get a bigger one
hmm
and just have the whole bracket on that.
yeah.
Um,
I like the whiteboard.
I like the whiteboard too. It's
Yeah,
a pretty solid. Like,
hmm
who got you that for Christmas?
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah,
Okay,
I might get another one.
dude. Honestly,
Yeah,
faller thing.
hmm
Love it to death.
love it.
Um, speaking of which, do you want to just hop into college football first, since it's a little bit shorter of a?
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 games to cover.
Yeah. Let me find my mouse, and then
Ooh.
because I have to look into the sun, kind of.
While he's doing that, for any of you guys that like our interviews, not exactly MattCast related, we'll be doing one. Excuse me, I'll be doing one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
I
That will be
unfortunately have Saturday work,
yeah,
so I won't be there.
yeah. So we'll get that going for you guys. So you get 2 uploads.
Yeah.
You know,
2 uploads this week, maybe one scattered a little bit later.
yeah.
But yeah. So the 2 games we had to cover, Texas, Ohio State. and then Penn State versus Notre Dame,
Mm.
which like I did not imagine that much of a blowout from Ohio State to Texas.
Well, whoa, 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 whoa.
I wasn't gonna like when I say blowout, like it's a two-score game. I
Yeah,
expected it a little bit closer,
and I
like
mean, it
maybe
was really in
three.
the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
Like Ohio State got that touchdown, and Texas needed to respond, and
yeah,
they couldn't do it. And we're oh no, we so it was that was a Friday night. I was at a sports bar, and everybody it was like a weird like mix because
yeah,
like that's the thing with like the temperature the temper yeah I would say the temperature with Nebraska is we hate Ohio State and we hate Texas.
yeah. Who do we hate less?
And that was like, who is the lesser of two evils
Yeah,
for us? Is like, okay, if Ohio State wins, that's Big Ten supremacy.
yep,
But again, fuck Ohio State.
yeah,
I was of the opinion of I hope they both lose.
yeah.
And
Somehow plane crashes in the
yeah,
middle, kills everybody
not exactly to
in
that extent,
Minecraft.
but yeah, I mean it was a close game until that fourth quarter.
Yeah,
That's just when it was decided and that rookie defenseman I can't remember his name. Didn't he have he had a touchdown, right? Fumble recovery touchdown. What's that guy's name? Jack Sawyer?
scoring summary.
Should have been like the very last touchdown.
Yeah, Jack Sworry, 83
Sawyer,
yard
yeah.
fumble.
Yeah, I mean,
Or is it Sawyer? I think it's Sawyer. Yeah, Jack Sawyer. 83-yard fumble recovery for a scoop and
mhm,
score.
yeah.
Pretty solid right there. That's a
That
good nail in
nail
the
in the
coffin. Yeah.
coffin. Yeah.
And it was at 4:49, so 4:50, almost 5 minutes.
And Quinn Ewers deciding to go to the draft, not a bad move. I think
No.
honestly underappreciated at Texas. I think they all wanted to see
Yeah.
Archie go in and
Yeah.
play, even though Quinn Ewers is not a bad quarterback,
He's
especially
not.
like with this quarterback draft class that we're looking at
Yeah.
here.
It's not the greatest.
He's top five. I would
Yeah.
honestly put him probably number mm, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Speaking of the draft, like,
Yeah,
do you want to try and watch the draft this year? Because I've never actually watched it.
man, I don't know. I would maybe watch like a few of maybe the first
The
couple
first round,
days,
yeah.
but after a while, I'm like, I have no idea who the
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah,
So like let's say first one or two rounds, we'll watch it and
you know,
try and live stream it.
I'm just gonna say. Let me just say yes.
Okay.
If I'm free, then yes, I'll
Yeah.
watch.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where's my mouse at now?
you're right
There.
there.
Yep, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I got it now. It's kind of hard to find a white mouse while wearing sunglasses and staring at the sun.
Hmm.
All right, so Notre Dame, Penn State, great game to watch.
I didn't watch this game, so I'll let
So
you
like
take the lead on
I
this
was
one.
sitting there. It was kind of like one of those I had it up while I was doing something kind of game.
Hmm.
And every time I looked over, something different had happened in that game. I'm just like, oh my god, this is a tight going game. And also like uh, my family were majority Iowa State fans,
Yeah.
but my cousin that lives down in Texas is obviously a Longhorns fan. Um, and then it funny story, his girlfriend is an A&M fan, so they're kind of yeah,
Oh.
they're button heads. Um, but we're also Irish fans just because
Hmm.
Irish
You know,
relation and whatnot.
do you
So
know how the Notre Dame got their name, the Fighting Irish?
I don't actually.
I got a post about this. So basically, I'm gonna butcher the story,
Okay.
but back in the day, a Klan rally happened. Swear to God, a
Yeah.
Klan rally happened in fuck it, what do they call it, like South Bend
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck, wherever they are in Notre Dame, and it
Yeah.
was against like Jewish, Irish, and it was like at the
Yeah.
campus. All the students took huge offense to it and they
Yeah.
came down and they beat the fuck out of the Klansmen and ran them out of town.
Yeah.
And they were like, as they were running away, they're still beating the fuck out of them, like
Yeah.
taking them prisoner and just whooping on them.
Yeah.
And that's where they got their name of the
The
Fighting
Fighting
Irish.
Irish.
Yeah.
That's a pretty solid backstory to the
Very
name. Yeah.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that name.
Now, I haven't fact checked that. That was just a post I saw
Yeah.
it, but I was like, you know what? It had like a picture of of a newspaper clipping where they
I'll
described
just
the
take it at
incident,
their word.
and I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I should probably fact check this, but this is too cool to.
Yeah.
So I hope that's
I
true.
don't want this story to be ruined for
Yeah,
me. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so like my family's a bit of an fighting Irish fan. So like if
yeah.
Iowa State's not playing,
Oddly
I'll
enough, my
watch them.
my dad is also a Notre Dame fan.
It'd be the same reason too, just
Probably.
Irish relations. So
Dad's not Irish.
he isn't.
Mm-mm. Mom's side
Oh,
is Irish. Dad's a
okay.
Roman Catholic though, so maybe bad.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting then.
yeah.
But yeah. So
My dad's got weird sports taste, and I can understand. I can follow the breadcrumbs of a few
yeah.
where he's a Cincinnati fan because his family is from Ohio.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them either live like so. I mean, when we went to Dayton,
Hmm.
like my
Yeah.
great grandparents are
Yeah. We
buried
went with you.
there.
Yeah.
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 And then we have family that lives in Louisville and Kentucky. And I mean, Kentucky is not exactly far
Yeah.
from Ohio sports. So my dad grew up like a Reds, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Nebraska, and then St. Louis.
Yeah.
And it was just like such a weird like thing growing up, just like looking. Oh, he was also a Boston Celtics guy. He had some
What?
Celtics gear. So I was just like, I don't
Well,
fucking know. Like,
I mean, like, I get it, like, if he's following St. Louis, but like, because there's no professional basketball team in St. Louis.
mm,
Um,
I didn't know if he was a
but with
big.
Ohio, though, it's just like you got the Cleveland Warriors right there.
I have no idea. I'd have
Yeah.
to. I need to ask him like what. Give me the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Like when we had Josh Tressler on,
Yeah.
whenever he was telling me all of his sports, I was like, 'cause what he was a Patriots
Yep.
fan,
Patriots fan.
and then he was
I want to say Yankees for baseball. That might be, I might be mixing it up with our other friend.
yeah, I can't remember now, but yeah, I remember going
Yeah.
like, wait a fucking minute, you're this fan, but
Yeah.
you're also God damn, this dog is fucking Jimmy and tug of war. Well, I got her a new toy, and if
Yeah.
you don't play with her, she's gonna chew some of those up. Anyway, when you're looking at this new, like going in Notre Dame versus
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State, what are you looking at?
I'm hoping Notre Dame's been pretty lights out all season,
Mm.
and Ohio State's kind of been wishy-washy compared.
Who was Notre Dame's only loss?
I want to say Northern Illinois.
Yeah,
So Northern
I can
Illinois
not
is
see
their
that meme where it's like Northern Illinois
yeah,
making their argument they should be
yeah,
in the college
the
football
playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that meme. I almost sent it in, but I'm
yeah.
like, I I don't know if this is a good send. Um, but I like Notre Dame over Ohio State.
I do too. Even though I think I've picked against Ohio State the entire time except for
Yeah,
the Tennessee game. I could be wrong on that one, but
but
yeah,
I'm liking Notre Dame in this game, 100%.
I think I've also been picking against Notre Dame.
Yeah, I have
This whole
two.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably gonna roll with Notre Dame.
So like these are both teams we consistently have rooted against or have like picked against every week almost.
Mm,
And they're both in the college football playoff championship.
mm,
So we're eating our words on this one. So
oops.
oopsie daisy. Um I'm just realizing I'm saying too many times in the opening part.
But
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 you really caught me
how
off guard with
how
that.
I Met Your Mother reference for
Yeah.
all the people who don't know.
You caught me off guard with that one. I lost my train of thought.
Are you done with college football? Or are we ready
Well,
to
I
move
was
in?
just gonna say I like
Yeah.
Notre Dame. I think they had a
Mm.
much stronger schedule compared to Ohio State. Um, fuck, I did it again. Not to say Ohio
Can
State, not to say Ohio State has had a weak schedule at all,
hmm
but the teams that they've lost to, which like Michigan, losing to Michigan,
yeah.
really killed it for me. Um,
But they've gone on and shown that that's kind of a fluke.
yeah,
You know what I
Oregon
mean?
and Michigan being their only losses, solid fucking game. Like Tennessee, they'd also have beaten
Well, this is
Oregon once.
preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beat Texas.
Oh, that's fucking
Oh,
postseason.
sorry.
Never
All right.
mind.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind. Sorry.
So they beat Akron, obviously. Here, I'm
Hmm.
gonna pull this way. I forgot I can move it. Western Michigan, yeah. Marshall, yeah. Michigan State, yeah, I would have called that one too. Iowa, I didn't expect it to be
I mean,
that
you're
much of
looking
a
at him. They're all holding them until the Oregon, or excuse me, until the
Oregon game.
well, except for Marshall, they held all their team to just one score.
Yeah. And then you have Nebraska, who
Almost lost to Nebraska.
almost lost to Nebraska. Penn State,
Yeah.
which they beat. Purdue, whooped them. Northwestern, one score. Indiana, 38-15. Michigan, they lost 13-10. And then they beat Tennessee, beat Oregon, beat Texas again. Did I say again? Oh, no, never mind. Just once. Which has me curious. I kind of want to see who Notre Dame played throughout the year.
That's why I was like, can we check that before we
Indiana beat,
this is postseason again.
oh, sorry, as I was. Texas A&M beat. Northern Illinois is their only loss. And that was their second game of the year.
Mm.
Purdue
Both had ones
whooped
over
them.
Purdue.
Miami, Ohio whooped them. Louisville was a little bit closer of a game. Stanford whooped. Georgia Tech whooped. Navy definitely whooped. Florida, Florida State, which like who would have thunk? Virginia whooped. Army whooped, and then USC closer of a game in their Big Ten championship. Or sorry, not Big Ten championship, but in their I think that's their bowl game right there.
No.
Was it no?
Mm-mm. Just the last game of the
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Dude, that shot's fucking me up right now. Indiana, they won in the playoff.
Gonna think twice. Call me Matty Heavy, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're just
Um
gonna go, and this is my co-host Maddie. I'm just like, you're like,
Just like start doing the Key and Peele sweating, just like
yeah.
Penn State whoop. No, not whoop. Sorry, I can't read.
24 to 27.
Yeah. So against tougher competition, yeah, the other teams have scored more.
But they also held Penn
Oh,
State to not getting a single reception by any
yeah.
of their wide receivers. So I'm very interested to see how Will Howard is gonna do as the quarterback for Ohio State.
Yeah.
What's the game plan going in?
Mhm.
I mean, if Marcus Freeman has those boys just dominating on the defensive side of the
Yeah.
ball, you know, what is Ohio gonna do?
Yeah. And like it's there's going to be a battle of like who can overcome the other team's defense
Mm,
because they've shown all year they've been lights out, holding teams to 1, 2 scores, except for in some bigger matchups. Yeah, it's going to be a rough game all around, and I think this is a pretty good matchup. Even though we have both counted them out pretty
mm,
much every matchup, we're like,
mm,
oh yeah, I don't see it happening.
mm,
I'm definitely going to be watching the college football playoffs
mm.
on Monday. So going into the NFL playoffs, if it'll load. You know what might have caused our lagging during the live stream?
Hmm.
The battery running low.
Oh,
'Cause it's
maybe.
still running like it's still low
Hmm.
and running a bit slower. So interesting. All right. So first game, we'll just cover the Texans Chargers, and also, so I also have our picks up here as well. We both picked the Chargers to
You
lose
know,
or the Chargers to win.
I felt like a lot of people felt like the Texans were gonna lose. I feel
Yeah.
like we're not like I feel like a lot of people were riding high on the Chargers.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it's not like the Texans offense was really dominating the game. It was their
No.
defense.
Yeah.
Um, I have it on my notes for this next week, but Houston, I mean, 3 sacks, 21 yards against CJ Stroud. He had a pick and his QB rating was 64.9. It's not a great.
No.
And I mean, the way they started out, their first drive was a fumble.
Yep.
and then they had a 3-and-out, a 3-and-out, a 3-play pick, and then a 4-and-out,
Yeah.
and then they finally scored a touch. And I mean, when you're looking at
And you win
shoot,
32-12 in that game.
well,
And
they
your
really took
offense is
over
like,
in the second
yeah,
half. That's when they really started like I mean, they scored what was it, 10 points in the like in the second and the third quarter,
yeah,
and the fourth quarter when I mean Justin Herbert fucking fell off.
yeah.
One fucking what? No. Yeah, no, wait, no, no. He had one touchdown for fucking um 4 interceptions, just fucking awful.
Yeah. Whatever
Um
Houston's defense did took him out of his zone.
mm,
And like Coach Harbaugh doing his best to try and keep that team alive
mhm.
in that game, but on the field it just was not translating probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that you're looking at it too is I think the Chargers they kind of got in their own head and in their own way too when you're looking
Yeah.
at it like their first drive, they went down there and got a field goal. All right, cool. Probably want to go out there and get a touchdown.
Mhm.
And then the next one, they give you a fumble on their end of the field, first
Yeah.
play. So try to punch it in, and you're either up by 10 or 14, but no, you're only up by 6
Mhm.
after 2 drives.
Yeah.
And, still plenty of time to fucking get Texas back
Yeah.
involved. So I think if they would have actually got touchdowns and was up 14-0 going into the second quarter, different ball
Different
game.
ball game.
But Texas kind of shocked us and going to KC
And I'm
and
not mad, like, it's good for the Texans. I just don't think we'll get into that one later, but
mhm,
on that train. So, we both picked the Ravens beating the Steelers,
yeah,
even though my dad was cursed me with not being able to fall asleep this week
mhm,
because of that choice.
mhm,
Um, we were right. So, strike me down,
yeah,
pops. Um, yeah, it's typical Steelers fashion.
just
Yeah,
limping to the playoffs
limp into the
and
playoffs
then
and then
get there.
have a pitiful wild card,
And now
which
we're gonna go back to another off season of in the first
should
3
we get rid of
games,
Mike
we should get rid of
Tomlin,
Mike Tomlin, he doesn't produce.
and then they have an electric beginning part of the season,
Oh, this guy, he
or and like
doing
they start off hot, drop
mhm.
off in the mid-season, then pick it up at the end,
Well, and the
or
thing
they
is
stay solid throughout early and mid, and then
and
drop off at the end.
I didn't hate what they're doing where they had Russell Wilson in, and they also were putting in
Justin
Justin
Fields,
Fields.
yeah,
I think they should have kept that up,
yeah,
but their offense just became so stale, especially when
100%,
George Pickens went out for a while.
yeah,
And I mean, Najee Harris, I mean, he's a good back. And that's the thing that like your guys' offense always struggles with is that and that's the thing that
and like that's
your offense is never was going to get you to win the games.
yeah,
It's the defense. And then I had a meme in there that I don't think, but fucking JJ Watt, TJ Watt, excuse me.
JJ Watt,
Yeah, JJ. But TJ Watt did nothing. Those 4 or 5 games
yeah,
where y'all lost, didn't record a single stat.
yeah,
And that's the people who want him to be defensive
yeah,
player of the
player of the
year.
year,
Dude, you can't finish out your season, the 4
no,
games, and you guys barely limped to the playoffs.
yeah,
And that's the thing, if it was like a game where like the last game of the season we're like, "Oh, we're going in the playoffs. It don't matter. Let's just
mhm,
rest all our starters." You didn't. He
no,
was out there and he
yeah,
didn't do anything.
yeah,
And yeah, that's it
yeah.
sucks, and I'm curious to see because last offseason, the Steelers did a lot right. They brought in a lot of good people. They
Oh,
picked
dude,
up
they had
Justin
me so
Fields and
excited.
Russell Wilson for cheap, for fucking cheap.
Cheap.
And I don't think they should give up. I think
Well,
you just need to get
they've made a lot of moves, and I should have fucking saved this post. Unfortunately, it was on Facebook.
mhm,
But yeah, they've made a lot of moves, like nitpicking dudes off of other teams and put them on their practice squad.
mhm,
In the off season, just because can't officially pick up people yet.
right.
And I'm just like, I'm looking at, 'em, I'm like, I recognize some of these names, but they're not the biggest people. They could be like, diamonds in the rough that are missed out,
I
like
would
on other people's.
I
But
would
I'm
like to
not.
see it.
I'm holding
I would say
like
that man, Steelers, they're just they need a honestly, I would say like here's the thing. It's I mean, you guys have limited success. You
Yeah,
get to the playoffs every year, which other teams can't say they can do
yeah.
that. And Tomlin's giving you winning seasons, but at
And
the
he's
end of the
had like
day,
what
he's
fucking 9, 10 fucking winning or what is he at? Like
10 or
winning?
11 in a
Yeah,
row, and then yeah, you guys made it to the playoffs like 9 out of your late 8
yeah,
or 8 out of your last 9 attempts.
yeah.
But every time you guys get there, you guys go nowhere quick,
Nowhere.
and you
Yeah,
guys get blown
and
up.
it's
And
just
there's
like
that Frank Michael Smith take
yeah,
where I mean, what was it, 112 points to the 7 that like
yeah,
the you guys' offense is a problem, and I think getting Arthur Smith there is a good step because he's a great offensive coordinator,
100%.
opposed to who's the guy that
Matt Canada.
Matt Canada.
Fuck that dude.
Yeah. And I mean, if Tomlin is a good defensive mind and you guys, for the most part, have a really good defensive team until like the end of the
Yeah.
year.
Well, and like one thing that I noticed from watching the Steelers all season was that like our offensive line played solid in the beginning parts of the season.
Mhm.
Once we got to like that last 5, 6 game stretch, dude, it was just like Russ is getting like pressure every single snap
But
almost.
that's the thing, you guys don't have like a solid cornerstone on
No,
your offensive side.
we
I mean,
don't.
like on your defense,
And like,
Cam Hayward, he's been there forever.
yeah,
TJ Watt, you have Mihinka Fitzpatrick, like
yep,
all these guys who are like essential to the roster. And then you look on the offensive side of the ball, you got George Pickens and he's fucking
yeah,
crashing out. He's undisciplined. You got Russell Wilson who is toxically positive, which
yeah.
like
That's like a double like,
it's a
yeah,
double-edged sword. You know,
yeah,
you don't want to be that guy in the locker room, but you also don't want to be fucking but
yeah.
you got and then you got Pat Fryermuth, you
I
got
think
like
it's a solid tight end. I think any
yeah,
team,
he's a good like respectfully, I'd put him
yeah,
as like a B. Like he's a good B tight end. You
yeah.
guys
I'd say
use
higher
him.
B,
I would
maybe edging the low A.
I'd say respectfully B comparatively to like I would put him in a good shuffle of the mix of the Bs.
Yeah.
But you guys don't revolve your offense around him really,
No.
which is like you guys don't really
Yeah.
have it. Your offense is Chris Boswell.
Yeah.
And that's like,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's your offense and that's who you guys rely on.
And like this is something that like this is when you said offensive line, we don't have a cornerstone. I was like, we
Just
haven't
anyone
like,
on this on the offensive side,
and I was trying to
not
think
even on the
like when
line.
did Andre Villanueva leave the Steelers offense? And
20, well, I
and I
mean,
want to say like it's probably somewhat near like in those beginning years of like that 8
no,
playoff stretch.
no, I mean, Villanueva was there and like looked at when he retired. I thought it was like 2020.
I thought
It
it
was
was
during
like
the whole.
2018.
Was it that long? I thought he was
I
there
think
for
he's
all the
been out for
COVID
a
game
while. When did Andre Phil?
right there.
Well, I'm just gonna do that, and then
Retire. 2022.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I was wrong.
Yeah.
It definitely
Yeah.
feels like he's been gone for a lot longer. But that's just the heartbreak of a Steelers fan right now. Which, like, granted, as a Steelers fan, I should be happy that we're making the
Do
playoffs
you know?
almost every season.
Yeah, because I mean, but like, it's the thing is like, okay, we get there, but you guys always know you're gonna
Yeah,
lose. Like, all right, and I mean, the thing is too, you guys are playing like your rivals. Like, I
yeah.
mean, I wish we had
We're
that
always
post still
playing
up.
against an
The
AFC North
Ravens, the
team.
Cincinnati,
Yeah,
it's just it's never
never a fucking non AFC North team. And when
mhm,
it is, it's fucking KC
mhm,
with Patrick Mahomes. And it's just like, all right, dog, like,
yeah. I think you're good with
yeah,
the sunglasses, by the way. I think so.
yeah, just no, no, turn those lights off.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it out of your
Yeah.
face. But yeah,
But
you're better now.
um
That's what
like
I would say. You
I
guys
should
need
be
to get.
happy that we're making the playoffs every year and we have a continuous winning season. It's just very hard to be like being able to defend the Steelers when talking with other sports fans
They're
and
a
shit like
great
that.
regular season team,
Yeah.
and then like after that, but
And
like who? But like,
I also look back to like when the Steelers first won their Super Bowl with Ben Roethlisberger. He
hmm
was also the youngest quarterback to
hmm
win a Super
But
Bowl.
how long ago was that?
so long ago. Like, I was a
Exactly.
child. But, like,
Yeah.
that year, though, we were also a wild card team. Like,
Mhm.
we barely scraped into it as well.
Mhm.
We shocked it, and so, like, what I hate to say is that, like, maybe we have to go through these years of just, like, barely scraping by, and, like, Coach Cowher had done that for years, barely scraping by, and then finally got us to the Super Bowl, and then Mike Tomlin shows up, gets us to another Super Bowl. Maybe Mike Tomlin gets us to one more Super Bowl, and then he retires or
And
leaves.
so I like the idea of you guys grinding out. But the problem is like it's a year in, year out, and I
Yeah,
see no improvement. Like there hasn't been any improvement.
100%. No matter what moves we make, there's no
Like
improvement.
I'm pretty sure last year you guys also finished 10-7
Yeah.
out in the wild card by the
Yep.
Ravens, and I'm pretty sure it was very similar in score.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, this is Matt's punishment bottle. He keeps calling me Matty Heavy, so yeah.
I fucked up in our intro.
Have
Yeah,
you had it?
yeah,
Do you
it's
want just
terrible.
a little?
Just take a whiff of it and you'll hate it.
Aaron, the flavor is Sugar Blast.
There's a flavor? Dude, I
You don't
smelled
taste
it
it.
one time and it like there's no flavor to this, dog. Are you sick?
No.
Oh,
We
I
also
mean,
we
how
also
much percent?
we
50%. I think it'll clean it.
we also have we got a shot glass. We have
Yeah, there's enough alcohol in there to clean out your
I
system.
think so. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'll let you know.
Hey, can I try some of that gum?
Yeah. You want to do that?
Yeah, sure. I don't even know what the gum is, but yeah,
Nicotine
sure.
gum.
Nicotine?
Yeah,
Oh,
nicotine
okay.
gum. I've never had it, but I've been told there's a zero. Would you say 0% chance of getting cancer?
Or I like holy son. I'll Google it right now.
Okay. We're new segment of the MattCast podcast, Science with intern Aaron.
Yeah,
Oh, nicotine gum is not likely to cause cancer.
not likely.
Used as directed in smoking cessation programs.
I don't want cinnamon, Matt.
No,
Um,
it's pomegranate. What else? What other flavors?
pomegranate, wintergreen, which is probably what I'll go for, and cinnamon. So you don't want cinnamon,
Don't want cinnamon. Give me that wintergreen.
please.
Both of you guys took it from one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I was told these weren't cheap.
No, they're not
like
cheap.
$50 for 9 packages.
That's actually not
Pretty good.
terrible.
You can also buy
And like at the stores, I think they're much more.
I was kind of looking at trying this because like I don't know if I'm a Zen guy, but on the weight loss journey.
There's instructions. You pop in your mouth, chew it 10 times, then let it sit between your gum and your cheek, then do that 2 or 3 more times.
Mm.
These are 4 millis.
Okay, so
4 milli ain't gonna feel. I'm sorry.
Probably not.
so chew 10 times, let it sit in my mouth and gum.
Yeah, like a dip.
For how long?
It's just however long you want to, and then just do it a couple times.
Where
Okay.
it's a continuous 10.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
I hate that it has instructions. I thought I could just
Yeah.
chew it like bubble gum.
Yeah.
But thank you, Aaron. I
Um.
want to try this because I've heard that nicotine. There's some benefits. I know there's also
Yeah.
some negatives, but I want to try to get in, especially if it's like a appetite suppressant thing.
Mhm.
That I think that would help.
Oh, it definitely is an appetite
Yeah.
suppressant.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple times in the field while I
Mm,
was in the army that
mm,
like I just put a dip in and I
mhm.
only drink water and dip.
Yeah.
I don't think I ate for like a day or two, and I maybe only had a little bit just because my body was like screaming to me like you need to eat food.
It tastes good. I
Yeah,
like the taste of it.
yeah. It's sad that I can't chew it and continuously get the taste, but um, where were we? Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Steelers. Yeah,
Yeah.
my biggest thing that like, and we continuously make great moves. We just never
Well, I wouldn't say
and
continuously. I wouldn't say continuously. I think this year you
yeah,
guys made a
this year we
really
definitely did.
good.
Yeah. Well, like, so one thing that even that podcast that Ben Roethlisberger had is just like, the Steelers' identity is not in the locker room. And that's
I
what I'm
agree with that.
seeing the biggest. Like, in comparison from the 2010, 2012 Steelers and all of those years
Mm.
when I was a kid, there was an identity to the Steelers. Like, in the locker room, you could
Well,
see it on the players.
especially in the offensive side. I
Yeah.
mean, the defensive
The defense side has always been
personality
there. Yeah.
that has always been steel
Yeah.
curtain, fucking like fucking
Hard
bite your mouth
nose,
piece, fucking football. Like we're gonna beat
bite
the
a
shit out.
kneecap
Yeah,
on the way
like
up. Yeah.
the defense, and that's the thing. The defense isn't the problem.
Yeah. It's 100% the offense, and they don't have the identity.
But when you guys beat the Ravens only by field goals, I was sitting there like, that's questionable to me.
Yeah.
That's questionable to me.
100%.
Yeah.
And like I was happy,
And
but
I
I'm
was
also
just sitting there,
sitting
I was
there
like,
like,
that's whenever like the other 2 times that you guys were playing the Ravens, I was like, there's no way they're gonna be able to do that twice.
mm,
And that was early before. This is getting weird.
yeah,
Yeah, my mouth is feeling like because I'm not a big Nick guy. If you couldn't
yeah.
tell, I don't vape. I smoke a
That was a
cigar on
very
the occasion.
very modern generation. I'm not in the Nick, man. Not the
Yeah,
elk.
yeah,
I
no,
I only deal
yeah,
with the elk, dog.
yeah. I'm all about that galaxy gas, dog. Let's get into
But yeah,
the
so
other
yeah,
games. We can beat this literally dead horse
yeah.
for a while, but
So we both had the Bills beating the Broncos because I think
and outside
Broncos,
that first drive where they got
yeah,
a touchdown, nothing.
and like I dare to say I think the Broncos were the biggest fraud going in the playoffs,
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they're the biggest
at
fraud.
least compared to the Steelers.
I think they had a tough task. I
They
think they had
definitely did.
I would honestly say the Steelers are the biggest frauds, like getting
Yeah.
in there. I think the Broncos just had. I mean, the Bills possessed the ball for 41 minutes, over 41 minutes. They're just having long drives,
Yeah.
and
They're being very methodical with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's I wouldn't call them frauds. And like you have a rookie quarterback and a second year coach
Yep.
at Denver. Sean Payton's been around for a while. I think they have a good blueprint to be back
Oh,
next year.
100%. Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't call them frauds. I wouldn't say that they lucked in,
Yeah.
you know.
Um, that goes into the NFC, Rams, Vikings, and I told this to you.
Mm,
I ate my words, and I'm
yeah,
not mad about it either. Like it was one of those games that like I was so split that like I don't
yeah,
know who to pick, and I
yeah.
even said like it's either going to be a blowout or tight win or like
So
a tight game, and it ended
I
up being a blowout.
knew just watching, like going back and watching the Rams game that we played them, and then going back and watching them play Detroit for the final game of the season.
Yeah.
I was watching that game, and that's why I came to the conclusion too that I would much rather play Detroit than the than the Eagles, but we'll get into that. Um, but I was saying it all like our defensive line
Mhm.
is just gonna actually. It wouldn't hurt. Yeah, I mean if you're offering, under her coat. Ooh,
But yeah, fucking
getting
getting the spin on it or getting the buzz.
I'm getting the buzz for sure.
Okay.
Tastes good.
So yeah, like to continue with what we were saying about the uh Vikings Rams.
No. Yeah. It is getting to me already.
With the Vikings Rams, like you were right on that shit, and I was just really hoping that maybe the Vikings might have seen their mistakes with against the Lions
Mhm.
and would just be like, all right, cool. This is what we need to handle. This is how we need to fix. And I think Minnesota should keep Sam Darnold, and I think the hate that's going towards Sam Darnold is unjustified.
We both said that.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, sorry, I didn't state that when
no, you're good.
um
No, 100%. I think when a quarterback is sacked 9 times,
yeah, it is not on the
or
quarterback's like
did I have
hands.
that written down? Do
Back it up just like a hair.
a hair.
Yeah, there. That's good. Yep.
I'm trying to remember. Did I have that written down? I thought I had it written down on here. Do.
So to continue while he's looking, it was a
No, I
solid
didn't. I
like
didn't have it written down.
solid game for the Rams. Definitely came up, showed out, came with a game plan too, which is what they needed to do to get this win. Was that they had to come in with a game plan to shut down their offense,
It
and
wasn't
then
even like okay, they had a game plan, and that's the thing. I think seeing this game, it made me hopeful versus Philadelphia, and I think the Vikings are not Philly.
yeah,
I got a lot of points on here. that if you're picking Philly, I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely
Yeah.
like all this and all this and all the stuff I have written down is not a here's why the Rams
Yeah. Are
are
gonna
gonna
win.
win.
Yeah.
This is me convincing myself like we have a chance.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah.
but
So
watching that game from start to finish, I mean, I liked how we went down there and the first two possessions that we had were scoring.
yeah.
And then, I mean, we only limited them to really uh one touchdown
Yeah.
from TJ Hawkinson, which honestly, we probably could have also stopped and maybe limited to a field goal, but like that's nor here nor there.
Yeah.
Um and I mean our defensive line ate and
Oh,
was
100%.
it
There was
Witherspoon who got a sack and an interception on the
yeah.
same drive? Like I knew going into that, I had total faith. And I was telling everybody the entire time, what we need to do is our defense, a defensive line really, just needs to go in there. If we're not even sacking Sam Darnold, we just need to hurry Sam
Yeah.
Darnold. And that's the thing. People are like shitting on Sam Darnold left, right, and center. The media, people and the
Oh,
fans.
yeah.
Like,
That needs to
this
stop.
guy took you when like everyone knew that you guys' hopes were dead.
Yeah.
Took you guys to a what 14-3
Yeah.
season, are like had a chance to be the number one seed in the NFC
Yes.
conference. And like, but watching that game, that's when I really started kind of seeing the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, ooh,
And so like as
this team's not going to make it.
for the Vikings, they need to beef up their offensive line in the offseason.
That's really the only thing you need to do.
Yeah. Like they have a stellar defense,
The defense was
stellar
really
offense,
good,
minus the offensive line.
arguably, or not arguably, depending on Brian Flores, the
Mhm.
defensive coordinator, he might try and go get himself a head
Yeah. A
coaching
head coaching
job,
job.
which he should be. He
Yeah.
shouldn't have been fired from the Dolphins when he was.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And like there's also part of it too, like what I hope, like if I had my crack dream
mm,
hopes and everything,
mm,
I hope he stays in Minnesota just to try and get a Super Bowl there as a defensive coordinator.
yeah, I'm like BOC.
100%.
Um,
Like it's a solid program. They're doing the right shit. They got a solid team. Don't go to be a head coach next season. Like give it at least one more season to try. And let's just hope the offense picks it up next year. Or like, make sure this is a fucking
and
stated thing. Like
if you're
I am
JJ
leaving.
McCarthy, you're getting good experience being a backup to honestly a journeyman in Sam
Yeah.
Darnold. That guy was the Jets, the Panthers. What other fucking team was he
Dude,
at?
he's
Was
been
it
all
just?
over the place.
And I mean, like he didn't have like a
No.
clean
And
start.
Sam Darnold was like a laughing stock of the league almost.
And dude, I would love to go back to the episode where JJ we announced JJ McCarthy was hurt, and
Yeah.
we said like, who's their quarterback? I don't know. Oh, Sam Darnold. It's over.
Yeah. It's over for the Vikings. And then
Yeah,
they showed up and shut us up.
yeah.
And like when I saw that happen, actually no, I didn't pick up Kirk Cousins. I picked up Derek Carr and Sam Darnold as backup quarterbacks
Hmm.
in the beginning of our fantasy. And like Derek Carr fell off, so I dropped him.
Oh, sorry. So the Rams sacked um Sam Darnold 9 times for 82 yards. Loss.
That is
It's a lot. Well,
wild. That's almost 10 yards of fucking sack.
they tied a fucking NFL record. For, I think it was just playoffs for
Yeah.
most sacks in a game.
Which
Um,
is phenomenal for the fucking Rams.
and I mean they had their right guard go out early in the game, and you know it doesn't help. It doesn't
Yeah,
help.
it
I
doesn't
don't know
help
if it
though.
would if he was there if he would have helped. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely got to try to either trade for some offensive linemen or try to get some good ones in the
Yeah.
draft.
Um, that leads up to let's just go Eagles Packers next. I didn't have high hopes for the Packers going into it.
I didn't either, but they shot themselves in the foot. A very emotional game that they
Yeah.
played where um I know they had a few where they could have stopped Saquon and they had like personal fouls
Mhm.
and it's just like for fucking what? And like
Yeah.
you can see Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, I'm putting kind of in the same boat with like Mike Tomlin, like, yeah, you guys are winning, yeah, you're going to the playoffs,
Mhm.
but you guys don't go far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like it I honestly could
Need a little something extra.
I could honestly do the same thing
Ah.
that I say for the Steelers is that like they don't have that same identity anymore. that the Packers continuously carry with them, like especially
Well,
when Aaron Rodgers showed up.
that's the thing I was gonna like. There was a very obvious passing. Well, not even passing of the torch. It was a very similar situation,
Yeah,
but Jordan Love is not picking up like Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers did
yeah,
to start their careers. But also I feel those teams were very different.
mhm,
Like you had God, who was that tight end? And Randall Cobb was really
yeah.
good back then. And God, who was that fucking tight end? I could see his fucking
I think AJ Green was a running back.
AJ Green.
Was it AJ Green or is it
No,
something?
AJ Green was a wide receiver for the Bengals.
Well, there's a
They
running
had
back
Eddie
named
Lacy for a while. He was that
yeah, Eddie
that running
Lacy.
back. Yeah.
There was also a dude named Green that the Packers had.
They had AJ. They had Aaron Jones who plays for
Yeah,
the
Aaron.
Vikings
Yeah,
now, and then they had
I'm saying like way back when Brett Favre was playing with them. So like
Google it. We're right here. Um,
we have the
but
internet.
yeah, I mean the NFC North looked good in the regular season. Now we're in the playoffs, and like I don't think they did as bad versus Philly that I thought they were gonna through the years.
Oh, we'll just do rushing leaders. That's the closest thing. Josh
AJ
Jacobs,
Dillon, that's who I was thinking of.
AJ Dillon, Alexander Green. That's who
Hmm,
I'm thinking of. Yeah,
2012. That would have been Rodgers,
that was right. Okay, I was wrong
right?
then. It might have been Roger or Favre going into Rogers. No, it was Rogers on that
Yeah,
one.
right. I say 2012. Yeah,
Yeah, but this is also leaders, not. Oh, this is where it is. Almond Green.
Allman. Right.
Is that an H? Amon Green.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that's who it
Amon
is.
Green. Yeah,
Yeah,
it looked like an L from my angle. So I was like, Almond Green, what?
that's why I was like Almond Green. I had to like zoom in
But
too.
Amon Green was the dude I was thinking of.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and like he was a solid running back for Favre
Mm,
throughout the years. And then you get fuck, I'm already forgetting the names of them. Eddie Lacy
hmm
with Rodgers, and then now you got Jordan Love. He's got solid running backs, solid receivers.
Josh Jacobs that's a huge
Yes.
acquisition. I think he was number 3 in running backs this year behind
Yeah.
Derrick Henry and Saquon. And like that was the big story is like these three all moved from a team that wasn't getting it done, and
Yeah.
now they are on these different teams now, and they're gonna fucking
Get it done.
and
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna get it done, and they're gonna
And
produce
like
giant contracts.
props to the NFC North for getting 3 teams into the playoffs this year.
Hmm
100%. You got the
Very
rank
AFC North to
yeah.
them. Yeah.
And like honestly, in the years going forward, if they continue on the same route, like AFC North and NFC North, I think are continuously going to be powerhouses almost going in the
Now,
NFL.
which team? Like one of those teams is gonna take a dive, and they're gonna have a really bad slide.
I think the
The
Green Bay
Packers.
Packers,
I think the Packers are gonna be that
yeah.
team.
If the Vikings
Like they're gonna want
lose,
immediate success from Matt LaFleur. They're not
yeah,
getting it. Maybe from Jordan Love too.
yeah,
Or maybe Love gets hurt because he got hurt
mhm,
early this season. He got hurt versus the Eagles
yep.
in Brazil. I can't remember what happened. Was it a concussion?
I think it was concussion.
We're spinning
Yeah,
our
no,
wheels here.
Jordan Love, yeah, it was a concussion. Yeah,
Talking about another set of like we had teams. I think the Texans were on one side of the field where no one thought they were going to win, and another team that no one thought was going to
the
win.
Bucks and
The
Commanders.
Commanders,
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like that was a kind of good. That's a good fun game to watch. A lot of back and forth.
yeah,
Baker Mayfield hit sticking Bobby
yeah.
Wagner like a fucking veteran.
Well,
You're
like
not gonna.
when you said like, oh my god, this game's wild.
Yeah,
I pulled it up and
yeah.
like kind of had it on Hulu
Mm-hmm.
down below while we were all playing Fortnite and shit.
Mm.
And so like I was watching, and I was just like, damn,
Dude,
this
Aaron,
game
because
is
Aaron wanted to do like a passing play, like, oh,
yeah,
I died. It's your turn. I was like,
yeah.
no, 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 no. I'm fucking,
I'm locked
I'm
in.
locked in on this
Yeah,
game, dude. This is fucking back and forth, fucking last drive down the field, and a fucking doinked in from Zane Gonzalez,
yeah.
who's on the sidelines, like combing his hair,
He's tweaking.
untying and
Like he
tying his
is. Yeah,
shoes, like I was thinking about it, like, dude, imagine if it was one of those situations. I can't remember where I heard this from. Maybe it was on like Bustin' with the Boys or something. But like, imagine if it was one of those things. They had no timeouts. They did a play just to get down the field, and they have like 11 seconds. 11 seconds. Run onto the field. Do you think Zane Gonzalez is fucking like confident? Like, I didn't touch my hair enough times.
Yeah.
Like, or do you think he's gonna be lights out? Where it's just like, okay, all I have to do is just go there and kick. But if you give me that time, I'm gonna have that like emotion of like, oh, I got. It's like when you're in line with a roller coaster. It's like I gotta sit here. I gotta think about what's gonna happen, and I'm fucking touching stuff just to keep my mind off of it. But if it was just like, hey, 10 seconds, we gotta go. Clock's running. Clock's running. Clock's running. You know, do you think he would have made it? Or I could, dude, a doinked in field goal. I remember, like, cause you remember hearing me on.
Yeah.
Oh god, I just fucking racked myself. I was like, oh, kicks up, he doinked it. And I was like, that was
Yeah.
my whole fucking range of emotions, and I was fucking, damn, fucking corner caught my nuts.
All right, walk it off, and I'll talk my point
Yeah,
of view. So,
go
like,
ahead, go ahead.
when he's doing that, like, we're remind you guys, like, so we're on Discord with our group playing Fortnite, and I can also hear him through this, and then also throughout the house. And all I hear is like he doinked, and then like it cuts out because he like got so loud about it. The mic cuts out, but then I hear the echo throughout the house, like he doinked it, it's in. And like I'm sitting there in the middle of a gunfight, like "Oh, what? Like I'm trying to watch it, but also, and I was so far behind. That's why I just kept on asking, like, what's the
We
score?
need another camera too.
We need another camera.
I like the idea of having a camera for the whiteboard.
Mhm.
I'd also like to be on the screen. You know what I mean? Not right now. Not right now.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
yeah.
like in the future,
In the future, yeah.
put it on. Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was definitely like I heard it multiple times. He doinked it,
yeah.
and it went echo throughout the house, and then finally we got out of our gunfight, and I looked down, and I see a doink it. I'm like, "Oh my god." Barely made it in.
And that was the
But
thing too that like Dan Campbell told the Vikings, which I think both teams probably took that personally because for the Vikings to go to Detroit, they needed the Commanders to lose and they needed the Rams to lose. Both those
yep,
teams are moving on. And I think it's time that we moved on to the next round. And you know what's interesting about this round? 3 of these matchups have played this year. And I'm very curious to see
yeah, how this
how
goes.
that goes.
Yeah,
Are any of these teams going to get revenge? Are we going to see, you know,
flops, yeah,
are we going to see just rematch, like just the
yeah,
same replay of what happened? Do you want to start Kansas City and Texans?
yes.
Texans at Kansas City,
So,
Kansas City.
as much as I talk shit on Kansas City Chiefs, I see them winning over the Texans.
I don't. Yeah, I mean they're coming off a bye. They're well
Yep,
rested. They always talk about Travis Kelce in the playoffs.
yep,
4 weeks from the day, so they play tomorrow. 4 weeks ago from that day, the Texans were at the Chiefs, and it's going to be the same place. It's going to be an
mhm,
Arrowhead. The Texans lost 19-27. Honestly, it was not that far off from like it was a
no,
pretty close game.
yeah,
At half, it was 10-17 favoring the Chiefs. The Texans come out, they get a touchdown off their first drive. What happens at the end of that drive?
fuck,
Tank
I'm
Dell's fucking knee becomes
Tank Dell,
dislocated.
Tank Dell,
Hmm.
fucking greatest wide receiver for the first 3 quarters of the season. Then an injury happens.
Yeah. And then Fairburn, their kicker misses the
Yeah,
PAT. So they go 16-17. And then I just don't think they're able to recover since
yeah,
then. I mean, it ended up being
and
a
like
19-17 finish after
I
they.
think for the Texans to go up against the Chiefs defense, they need to have all three of those receivers, but they only got two right now.
Yeah, they were missing
Yeah.
Diggs. Robert Woods is questionable. Joe Mixon is questionable.
Yep.
I'm assuming by tomorrow we'll know if they're playing or
Mhm.
not. Houston, they're big dogs going into this game.
Big underdogs going to this
They're
game.
plus 360 underdogs. Kansas City's minus 500
Yeah.
favorites.
And so like I hope the Texans win, but I don't see it happening.
I don't either, especially just what we were talking about where Houston can't afford to have another terrible start like the
No.
last game where I have
Yeah.
written down the one drive, one play, one fumble,
Hmm.
3 and out, 3 and out, 3 play pick.
Yeah.
4
They
and
can't count on their defense to carry them through this game.
all of those drives that I just rattled off,
Mhm.
the Chargers only scored 6 points off of those drives that
Yeah.
I just listed off. Kansas City's not going to do that.
No.
They're not going to do that. Last time out, too, CJ Stroud was sacked 3 times, 21 yards, and he had 1 pick, and he had a passer rating of 64.9. Let's call it 65. Let's just be
Yeah.
nice, round it up for him. But Houston's D last time out, last
Yeah.
weekend, 4 sacks, 31 yards, 4 picks. I don't foresee Patrick Mahomes throwing 4 picks.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if Houston's defense is what's really going to carry them to
Yeah.
even having like a chance in this game.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I definitely see it being more of a closer game, but I think it's gonna be a heavily
I'm going to
Chiefs-centric
say
game.
2-score game at the end of
Yeah.
it. 2
I'm
score
saying,
games
like
for the Chiefs.
10-point.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
yeah,
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 I agree
yeah,
to that. 10 points. But yeah, I think
yeah,
you want to put down Chiefs moving on for us.
yeah. I will type it into
I
our
also we didn't do that bid. Do you want to?
well, we kinda did,
Well, we
like
didn't like
oh,
add it
sorry.
up. But I don't think we added up
No,
last year
we
too.
didn't add up the
Yeah. So you
playoffs, yeah.
okay? Yeah. Okay.
Because, like, we only did regular season.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. But yeah, just for everybody's due diligence, we both were right on the Bills, we were both right on Baltimore, both were wrong on the Chargers. I was right, or we were both right on Philly. Both right or both wrong on the Bucks, and then you were right on the Rams. I was wrong on the
Yeah.
Vikings. Just doing our due diligence,
Yeah.
doing the right thing.
By the way, I might have an alternate for Beer Olympics.
Okay, so kind of like my alternate almost
I would want this guy to actually like.
over
I would
my
take.
person. Okay,
Well, yes, but I would say take one of the people out.
one of our maybes.
One
Okay,
well, one of our like one of the 20.
yeah.
Take them out and put this guy in
Okay,
because he's not super competitive. He likes to drink. He wants to have fun.
okay, fair enough.
He's a good dude. I
Yeah,
think you've met him. Actually, you did meet him. Okay, dude. You alright if I tell you this tell the story?
sure.
Okay. You and the boys went drinking, and my boy Ethan M
Oh yeah.
is
Okay.
there.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
We don't have to go the rest of that story.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you have met him.
yeah.
He's a cool guy. Dude, his
Don't
shotgun,
let me get in the car.
his shotgun
Oh, dude.
is
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Insane.
Met him at a New Year's party
I didn't-
at Unc's place.
He came to Unc's place for a New Year's
Yeah,
party? Okay, cool.
yeah.
I don't remember that.
We did
But
a little shotgunning competition. I was like a half second behind him. Like it was when I was in my prime still. But he did like swipe the floor on me.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
So Bills Ravens. This is the game I think everybody is kind of talking about.
I wish this was for the AFC Championship.
Me too.
I wish it was for the AFC
100%.
Championship. This is one of those games to me, and I've honestly swayed my pick a little bit. I think this is the game that we really like nail down like who's going to be the MVP. Even
Yeah.
though it's a quote regular season game or regular
Yeah.
season award.
Yeah.
I think this is where they like nail the
Determine.
yeah.
Yeah. And dude, this is so hard. Like hard for me to pick a team on this one.
So let me tell you, let me wind the clocks back to week 4 of the NFL. Buffalo at Baltimore.
Okay.
That game, 10-35 for Baltimore. Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 199 yards, 1 touchdown, and then 2 touchdowns. 1 he ran in, 1 he received. Lamar Jackson, 13 for 18, 156 passing yards, 2 TDs, 1 TD he carried in. He only got sacked once for 1 yard. Josh Allen, 16 for 29, 180 yards, 0 touchdown, 3 sacks for 27 yards. Now that was back in week 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was week 4.
That was week 4. The defensive coordinator, who's new at Buffalo, honestly, after that Rams loss, they have changed some stuff up.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you were watching this game, high scoring games, but after that, they definitely cleaned up. They moved some stuff around, and I don't imagine it being a high scoring game. This time, it's at Buffalo.
Hmm.
It's going to be ridiculously cold.
Yes.
It's going to be who's running the ball better.
100%. And
Baltimore has the best run defense in the league.
yes. And they also have one of arguably the
The-
second best or the
I mean,
best. Some people could argue that he's the better
running back in the
running
league.
back in the league.
And they're going to do option plays with Lamar. Dude, so here's the thing. My heart wants the Bills.
Yes.
Zay Flowers is doubtful to come in this game. The Bills are slight dogs.
Yep.
They're 105 dogs. Baltimore are the slight favorites. They're
Like,
125.
yeah.
On ESPN, if you click on that game, they are favoring the Bills 50.3%.
It's now, yeah,
Yeah,
50.3,
50.3 to Baltimore
49.7.
49.7.
Yeah.
It is as close as a game it can get.
And like they're imagining a 1 point difference in this game,
Yeah.
which honestly, not wrong on this one.
I don't so
Now, if it's a blowout, dude, I'm gonna be shocked
yeah.
if it's a blowout.
Here's the thing that I'll say.
I want,
It's so hard to pass in those conditions.
yeah,
Josh Allen does it pretty well.
he does.
He does it very well.
And like, I mean, he's lived in Wyoming.
Yeah,
And I think he also grew up in the northern part of the country too.
I believe so. He was a
And so like
farmer.
he's used to it.
Yeah.
He's used to that rough and gruff of the cold play. But does he have the weapons like
Amari Cooper and
Amari Cooper? Yeah, but
well, who's the other? God, Samuel, Curtis Samuel.
yeah,
They're not as flashy, and like so, if we're looking at wide receiver rooms, I would edge it out. I'd edge it out for for Buffalo.
yeah,
Running back room, James Cook's a great back,
yeah.
but compared to Justice Hill and Derrick Henry, you
Mhm.
got it. That's an easy win.
Easy win right there.
Quarterbacks, I'm gonna say tie. Even
Oh,
though
100%.
on the stat sheet, Lamar has way more. But when you're
Yeah,
looking at like tight end rooms too, fucking Buffalo's tight end room cannot hold a light
no.
to Baltimore's. Fucking Isaiah Likely,
Mark Andrews.
like they could honestly, they could get rid of either one and be just fucking
Yeah.
fine.
Now, would they want to? No.
No. If you can
And
keep
like
them, keep
when
them.
it comes to like who's the better quarterback, dude, coin flip, and I'll just be like, yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it is, yeah, sure, that's the better one. And you can do that 100 times, and I'll just agree with each one.
Yeah, my heart says the Bills, but
I think the Ravens are
I'm
gonna
gonna
win.
roll with the
Yeah,
Ravens. Which honestly, if we get Kansas City,
against the Ravens again, week 1
insane.
matchup,
That's insane. And I would be hyped for that.
100%. Because then Isaiah Likely, he knows his toes
He knows where,
now.
yeah.
He's not. He's paying more attention to them. And I feel like 100%. Like if that happens, Chiefs Ravens,
Hmm.
the commentators are gonna make so many comments about Isaiah Likely, watching his feet, or like
Something,
they're gonna crack
something.
some jokes, and then Chris Collins was like, Mahomes.
Pretty good
Yeah,
impression.
thank you. Um, Going to Lions Commanders. I like the Commanders, but I'm gonna go Lions faithful all the way,
Yeah.
especially with getting David Montgomery back this week.
David Montgomery comeback is huge.
And
Huge.
huge.
Um,
I
dude,
said, wow.
that that matchup was the one I did the least amount of research on.
Yeah,
They didn't play each other this year. I couldn't. I didn't. It's not that I couldn't. I
and it's not
didn't
like
look to see when the last time these two teams played.
the Commanders have the same team like they had last year
And don't get me
either.
wrong, I love the Commanders right now. They are the flukiest team.
Yes.
Like the win versus the Bears this
Yeah.
year, huge
A
fluke.
huge win.
Fucking doinked in
Yeah.
walk off field goal. Arguably a fluke.
Yeah.
The
Like,
game that they had versus Philadelphia to get them into the playoffs
yeah.
was a fluke.
Fluke.
Um,
It's wild. And I think it's going to be
and I
I
like,
have two opinions and predictions for this game.
Mm,
It's either going to be a classic Dan Campbell beatdown where it's like 40 to like 7,
yeah.
or it's going to be a tight knit game the whole way through.
See, the thing I see is these guys are coming off of a bye, and I honestly more see it. I agree with you. I agree with you there, but I see it more of a beatdown
I
where
see it more of a beatdown
they're
too.
gonna go like, no. Like, we are the fucking team in the
Yeah.
NFL right now. We didn't come through doing all
Yeah.
this. Could not go to the fucking Super Bowl
18
right now
fucking injuries throughout the
on
whole
our
fucking
IR.
season,
Yeah.
and we're still here at the number 1 seed.
Like, Amon-Ra St.
Yeah.
Brown is fucking cooking. Sam Laporte is starting to do better.
He had a slow start.
Jameer Gibbs, well, he was injured.
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs and fucking David Montgomery
Montgomery.
comeback is going to be
huge for the
So
Lions.
fucking good for them.
And see
Bucky
if
Irvin didn't have like an outstanding game,
yeah,
but that's the thing. Like you have a 1-2 punch with those
mhm,
two guys, and then fucking
like
uh Jameson Williams and
Jameson. Oh yeah,
yeah, you're thinking
yeah,
James Winston. No,
yeah.
yeah.
I was sort of like, hold up,
No, no, no,
wait a
no.
minute. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think easy clap for the Lions.
easy clap for the Lions. In either if it's a close game or a blowout,
Mhm,
is going to be leaning towards the Lions no matter what.
yeah.
Eagles Rams.
I'll let you talk first.
I want to go Eagles, but after their, I don't know, it's rough for me to choose because they have Saquon,
Hmm.
and that is pretty much like what my pick is choosing off of.
Yeah.
And the only way I see the Rams winning, and like I'm fairly certain I see something on your board about stopping Saquon,
Hmm.
and it was like, or assume it's on there, is like
So
stop.
it's not here. It's here. It's the
Okay,
whole back half of the
yeah,
board.
and it's just like if you can stop Saquon and get to Hurts, you're solid right there. But that's about all you can hope for against the Eagles.
Hmm.
And like if you can do it in the first half, you have to be scoring heavy in the first half. And just hope to God you just slow the steamroll of like Saquon's typical plays way better in the second half than he does in the first half.
Hmm.
Score heavy in the first half and just hope to God they hang on while scoring some points here and there. And I want to go Eagles on this one over the Rams. It's what my heart is saying.
That a lot of people are following you there. It's not a bad pick.
No. And like either way, I'm not going to be mad with whoever wins on this game.
As a diehard Rams fan, I know how much it means for the Rams to go back and play Detroit in the NFC
Oh, dude, yeah.
championship game. I mean, the way that they beat us last year in the playoffs,
Hmm.
I think it left a bad taste in our mouth. I know Matt Stafford and his family are honestly tired of fucking Detroit.
Yeah.
So I know they want I think they want this game more than the Eagles do. I think
Hmm.
when you're talking about coached, I think the Rams are a better coach team. I think Nick Sirianni is a good coach, but I feel like with all the drama that you hear day in and day out,
Yeah.
and like that's the thing, like it's only from like a select guys. When
Hmm.
like Sean McVay has had some fucking characters. He had a coach Aaron Donald who was not he had some crash out moments. We had
Hmm.
Jalen Ramsey who was such a fucking diva. We had Odell Beckham Jr. for a season. We fucking had Clay Matthews when he got fucking dropped by
Green Bay.
Green Bay and he had a really
You
bad
had
taste in his
fucking
mouth.
Baker
We
Mayfield
had
too.
Baker Mayfield. Like we've had some people
And did you
who are
guys have
hard to
Sue at
coach.
one
We
point?
had Sue
Yeah.
for the Super Bowl run where we lost. Let's just start up and then I'll work my way
Okay.
down. So for the way I see the Rams winning,
Move the cord just a little bit out of the way.
oh,
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
is we 100% need to get the Hurts. I don't think Hurts has shown us his best year.
Mm-mm.
He's ranked 20 in the regular season as in quarterback.
Mhm.
Um,
Which I'd agree. Yeah.
yeah,
Like he
he's
was not the greatest quarterback,
and
but he
I
did
mean,
show up when he needed to.
yeah.
Yeah.
So his time to throw is second in the NFL. His offensive line is unreal. He had on average 3.13 seconds to throw in the pocket.
That's a long fucking
He's
time.
second behind Lamar Jackson. That should tell you something.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. His long for the season was 59.3 yards, I think. He had 361 attempts, second in or 22nd in the NFL. They're not passing a lot. He's
Mhm.
18 for 9, 18 touchdowns for 9 interceptions. His QB rating is 103.7. You know, middle
Yeah.
of the pack quarterback. Um, and he's completed 68.7% of passes. When we play them in week 12, so not that long ago,
Mm-mm.
we only got to Hurts once and it was a 12-yard sack, which is
Yeah.
pretty good, but we need to do more than that
Yeah.
this next game. The
You need to
problem
have a game
is
like you did. against the Vikings against him.
So that's the big problem is getting into that O-line and breaking past that O-line. They have two outstanding centers, Nick Gates and Cam Jorgensen. Where are they from?
Nebraska.
They're both UNL guys. Got fucking Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson felt like he should have been all pro over Penel Sewell. He has above his locker the two of their stats put side by side.
Yeah.
And Lane Johnson is the better of the guards, or
Mhm.
excuse me, the offensive tackles. And Penel Sewell got that nod over him. So
Yeah.
he has something to prove. He's got a chip
Mhm.
on his shoulder. Then you also got Jordan Malata. Their O line, I couldn't find like any hard stats out there, but throughout the forum post, news articles that they're ranked number one
Yeah.
O line in the NFL. And I mean, once we get into Saquon stats, you can understand why. They had two great draft picks. They have Quentin Mitchell, who is in the running for Defensive Player of the Year,
Mhm.
and then you had White Jesus, Cooper DeJean,
Yeah.
who's going to be probably either locking down Puka Nakua or Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Last game, they dominated us. They had 481 total yards to our 290. We had one turnover, which isn't terrible. And then the time possession was 33-41 to 26-19.
Mhm.
Like, we kept it close time possession wise, but we didn't score where we needed to. We were 0-8 on third downs. You're not
Can't
going to
have
win a
yeah.
game on
On
0-8 on third downs. We were 3 for 3 on fourth downs, though. Great.
Solid.
Cool.
Yeah.
We
But
got to
what
get to
happened the
Hurts.
other 5 times? Yeah.
What?
It was like the
We
other
were
5 times. They were probably all punts, if I'm
3 for oh, sorry, we were
Yeah.
3 for 3 for fourth downs.
Yeah.
We had 100% completion rate on fourth downs.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, on the
The 0-8s for
Yeah.
the third downs.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they're all punts. You got to limit the penalties. When we played Philadelphia, we have 4 penalties for 38 yards. That's not terrible.
Yep.
We had 10 for 95 yards last week.
You can't have a game like
Dude,
that.
we had a drive where we started out. It was a good first down run. It got brought back from like penalties. I think it was
Yeah.
like 4 in a row to like a 1st and 31.
Yeah.
We ain't fucking scoring. We are
No.
fucking at 1st and 31
And then I see your stat 91 penalties for 798
in the regular
800 yards.
season.
Yeah, in the regular season.
We're a good middle of the pack. That's not
Yeah.
terrible comparatively. The Ravens, I believe, are the second most penalized team in the NFL, and look where they are at.
Yeah.
And that's something that I should have said is if the Ravens need to limit the penalties,
Yes.
they can't be giving freebies to
the Bills.
So you know who has the most roughing the passer penalties? Like right now?
No, I can't say off the top.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen has the most roughing the passer penalties.
Oh, against him?
For him, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he gets
Yeah.
rough the passer the most. No turnovers. We got to protect Stafford.
Sorry, the joke when you say Josh Allen, he plays the game the right way. Pocket passer.
Yeah.
Reference to the memes. Go check him out.
Check him out. Anyway.
Sorry to get you off track.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
We got to avoid missed opportunities. In week 12, we had one. So our first drive ended with a fumble.
Yep. That was a Kyron Williams fumble, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
After that, we scored a touchdown, and then we had 3 3-and-outs back to back, which leads to our 0-8 third down conversions. In those times, in those that 4 drives or those 3 drives that we had where it was back to back 3-and-outs, only burned 4 minutes and 4 seconds off the clock.
Can't have that type of game.
So we got to dominate the play clock too. We had a missed field goal. That's another missed opportunity. And then we had a 10-play drive, 13 yards, and a punt. 10 plays for 13 yards and a punt. You know what the yard average for a 10-play drive for 13 yards is?
What is it, man?
1.3 yards per play for that drive. But we got playoff Stafford. And that's the thing that I'm really leaning on for the Rams.
Yeah.
Is that our team has been there and done that for the most part. Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, Tyler Higbee. Those are all guys who were with us when we won the Super Bowl. Puka Nakua, he's starting to get that playoff game. And that's the thing. Cooper Kupp needs to be more involved.
Yes.
Like he got one target for like one first down pass last week. I mean, It didn't affect us. We didn't lose.
Mhm.
But we got to get him more involved, especially if we can get Tyler Higbee back healthy because he had a chest contusion that pulled him out early. He had 5 receptions for like 58 yards.
Yeah.
If we can get those, and that's the thing, our offense needs to stay competitive. If the Eagles are scoring, we have to
Yeah.
score. We have to respond. And that's the thing. I don't foresee a future that this guy, Saquon Barkley, doesn't score. So last week, or let's start over this last year, he had 2,005 rushing yards
Yeah.
this season. 345 attempts for on average, he had 5.8 yards per carry.
Almost 6. Yeah.
Almost, let's
Yeah.
round up to 6. So if you give that guy 2 chances in a drive,
It's a first
more
down.
likely it's going to be a first down.
Yeah.
With room, by the way. It's not
Mhm.
like he's just barely cusping
No.
it. It's with room.
Yeah.
13 touchdowns, week 12, he fucking scorched us. They won over like it was a 3-point game or a
Mhm.
3-score game, 17-point difference. But a lot of our score came
But
in
he had like a 61-yard touchdown or something like that?
just so
Yeah.
yeah. So he rushed for 255 yards, 26 attempts, which is 9.8 average.
Yep.
He had 2 rushing TDs. He had 47 receptions, 4 catches, or sorry, 47 yards of receiving, 4
Yeah.
catches, 11.8 average there. He had a 72-yard long touchdown where he hit a max speed of 21.91 miles per hour,
Yeah.
which is the 5th fastest in the
In the world,
season.
in the season or in the
In the
world?
in the season.
Okay.
Um,
Because I think Usain Bolt holds it at like 23 point something miles per
maybe.
hour. Yeah.
Um,
So he's up there with like
well,
Olympic tracks
so
gold medalist. Yeah.
but that's just in this season where
Yeah.
he hit a top speed of 21. He was just under because he is also the 4th fastest with
Mhm.
I think it was a 21.93.
Yeah.
So we can't allow him to have big explosive plays.
Mhm.
What I said earlier with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen having this game decide who's the MVP, I think this game's also going to depend, or who's going to decide the defensive rookie of the year. I think Jared Verse is the guy,
Mhm.
and I think he's coming in mad that he didn't. He did have the scoop and score touchdown. I think he's happy
Yeah.
about that. I think he's mad he didn't get a sack, and I think he's going to want a sack. I
Yeah.
think he's going to want a Saquon fumble that
Mhm.
he caused. I think he's going to want to get in Jalen Hurts'
Yeah.
face. But we got playoff Stafford, like I mentioned earlier. He's 9 games, 103 passer rating, which is pretty fucking good.
17 Ds for 9 interceptions.
Yeah,
19 for 27, 209 yards of passing, 2 TDs, 117.7 QB rating.
which is what we did last week
Yeah.
versus the Vikings. So there is a chance for us to get a victory. And what I see us just, if we can keep the penalties to a minimum, I think we could be the more disciplined team that, like, the Eagles will get a little lax when they're like, oh,
Mhm.
it's just, I feel like if we just stick it to them and we just stick with them that game, we can try to outlast them
Yeah.
to try to get this win.
And I'm going to I already put you down for the Rams as your pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the same approach that I did in week 12 is that like, and I was right on it too. It's just like, it's either going to be blowout win or super close. And I know like that's a broken record for me when I'm making my predictions, but it's also kind of right too. For some of these like high caliber teams, there's one or the other. And I want to lean a little bit more towards closer game with the Rams just edging by, or not the Rams, the Eagles just edging by for the win. That's how I see this game going.
If we don't stop
Saquon,
Saquon, then yeah, it's a wrap.
yeah.
Easy.
And
I think,
I'll know when the game's over when either you turn off the TV and just kind of sit there or like
well,
take
so
the J Dog for a walk or when you're sitting there
my
screaming, yelling.
mom
Yeah.
invited me over to watch that game, so I got to be
Oh,
on my
okay.
best behavior.
That's gonna be hard for you.
Mm,
Yeah.
we'll see. And here's the thing too, man. Honestly, if it, actually, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it.
So going into college basketball, It's mostly just me stroking the fucking Cyclones.
Mm-hmm.
We're 5-0 in the Big 12 starting off, and our only loss was a 2-point game, so a one-score game against the number 1 team, and we're number 2.
Mm-hmm.
That is fucking huge for Iowa State going throughout the rest of the season. And I kind of want to look at. All right, so this is what I was looking at, the standings. So when we go into this next game, this tomorrow on Saturday, we're playing against West Virginia, who is the fourth place team in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a big matchup for us. And before that, it was KU, and we handled KU handedly. I see us also winning against West Virginia. And honestly, like I think our really next big competition, basketball wise, or in the season, is going to be Houston. Houston is number 10 going into number 9 ranking position. They're a solid team all around. They've only been climbing. They've been heavily underrated from the beginning part of the season, have just been climbing up this whole time. I see us going undefeated. It's going to be rough to play against KU again, like twice this season, but I think KU and Houston are our biggest competitions in basketball for the rest of the season going forward. And I want to say we're going to go undefeated in the Big 12 because like we went undefeated at home.
Bold prediction.
We went undefeated at home last year.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step forward? And we're only better than last year's team is going undefeated throughout the Big 12.
Yeah.
And I want to say
It's a lofty goal, but
it's a lofty
achievable.
goal. It's definitely well achievable. It just means the team has to be locked in the whole time through.
We also got to be not injury prone.
Yes.
I know you guys lost one guy.
We lost our starting center and our
broken
backup center.
wrist.
Yeah.
So I've been told that he can make it back for at least maybe the
Towards the end of the
playoffs.
season. Yeah.
Or the
March Madness.
March
Yeah.
Madness, excuse me.
And or the Big like it's either March Madness or Big 12
Yeah,
playoffs.
end of February, early March, yeah.
Yeah. So that would be the Big 12 conference playoffs.
Yeah. But it seems like the replacement guy that you got
Yeah, and
wasn't
he's the number 1 6 man in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is our backup dude. And so like it's not a bad swap. Like you're literally just like coin flip on a center.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So we had a great backup right there coming into that game. And he started off very well. Curtis Jones, 25 points and a rare start. Scoring 25 points in college basketball is a fucking great game to have. All around, it's why I'm daring to say on this podcast, I have a huge faith that Iowa State is going to go undefeated in
It's
Big
the
12.
time you made like a bold prediction. You haven't done one in a while. It's all been vanilla.
Yeah.
Like either it's high scoring or really close.
Exactly. And like it's how I normally go throughout life though. I try and sit in the middle of the ground and everything. This is like one state where I'm sitting there like I want to make a bold prediction that we're going to go undefeated. And the only 2 teams that might ruin that for us is KU and Houston. Now, if some other team comes out and fucking swipes me and just fucking blows us out of the water, I will be genuinely shocked if that happens. Watching Iowa State throughout the season has been phenomenal to see. And it's why I'm hoping.
So you guys are number 2, right?
Yep.
Who's number 1?
Auburn, the only team we've lost to. Yeah. And it was a 2-point game against Auburn. It was a 83-81. So solid game against the number 1 team in the country, who's also lights out.
I didn't realize they were a basketball school.
They're not really. This is a abnormal year, at least in my opinion, for Auburn. And even like all the college basketball experts are saying like the top 3 teams that are above everybody else is Auburn, Iowa State, and Duke. They are the best 3 teams in the country. They don't see them leaving the top 5 at all throughout this whole season. And I have to agree with them on this one. I don't see Iowa State, even if they do lose, I don't see them leaving the top 5 at all. And they're a heavy favorite going into the Final Four this year.
So you talked about making a bracket. Do you have right now? Do you have Iowa State winning March Madness on your bracket before looking at
Before I
anything?
looking into it,
Obviously, like
yes, I do.
yeah,
I have them heavily going in.
like if you guys played Auburn again, if you guys are the final 2 to make it,
Yeah.
you could foresee them
Oh, it would be a grudge match, honestly. Like that's what I see it for Iowa State, coming in with that Midwest,
for any of those March Madness. Those are all neutral site games, right? You don't
yes, they all
play,
are
yeah.
neutral site. Yeah.
Why they do that?
I don't know, honestly, but I like it, I think it's just for keeping it fair, not having any sort of bias into the March Madness bracket. Um, and like this is where I'm gonna go back to my normal vanilla takes and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'd have to make 2 brackets. In both those brackets, though, Iowa State is making the Final Four. One of those brackets, they're not making it. One of them, they are, and winning the championship. That's where I'm seeing it. Because, like, when we went to the fucking Hilton Coliseum, Iowa State has only made it to the Elite Eight 2 times, which is the round just before the Final Four.
Yeah.
And that was back in the 50s and 40s, right? Like, I've never seen it in my lifetime. My dad never saw it in his lifetime, but we've made it there.
Mhm.
I think we can at least see us Elite Eight getting another fucking date put up on that pennant, and then we finally get to see a new one of 2024 or 2025 Iowa State Final Four.
Mm.
And I'm really pulling for them to win the championship, and I can't say for certain until I do more research that we have a heavy chance for it, but I can see it.
Well, I mean, you should be able to look up the betting odds right now for college basketball because that is usually, I mean, I don't want to say it's accurate. There you go. So I don't know if this is just to make it in. There you
24
go.
wins will be played April 7th.
So right there. So they have Duke number 1. Okay, so they just have the
Yep, they have Duke, Auburn, Iowa State, and Iowa State is a plus 130 for. So we're marked as the underdog for a conference winner, and we haven't been put on a bet for anything for the national championship.
well, all of them since it's all going to be dogs right now.
Yes.
Like there shouldn't be any minuses
No.
because you're
Well,
too
except
far
for
out.
Duke as a conference winner. They're the only minus.
Mm. Are they minus? Does it say 800?
Yeah. The ACC,
Gotcha.
yeah. Duke is a heavy favorite in the ACC. And then, I mean, North Carolina's still in that race too, but probably not as heavy as Duke is. And Auburn's pretty damn close to being a heavy favorite. Iowa State is. They have Houston as the more of a favorite over Iowa State for conference championship.
Mm.
Which, if I'm Iowa State, I'd be having that shit fucking posted up there, like motivation.
Mm.
I'm going out here to play to prove these goos wrong.
Wait, what'd you say Iowa State was?
Iowa State is plus
Yeah.
130 and Houston is plus 120.
Mm.
So, like, it's close, but I'd still use that as motivation. And no one has betting odds for the Final Four as of right now.
Hey, the Huskers.
Nebraska's in there after the St. Louis Billikens and Indiana, but they're up there. I definitely see them
Creighton.
making. I definitely see them making
March Madness.
March Madness this
Yeah.
year.
If the Huskers and the Creighton go, that's all I care about.
Yeah, and like,
And I'll have 2 brackets. One
yeah,
where the Creighton wins, and then one where the
the
Huskers
Huskers
win,
win. Yeah.
and they will not win anything
No.
because everything else would be incorrect.
I think Fred Hoiberg's doing the same shit that he did at Iowa State, where like he's making them a contender again.
Hmm.
Kind of like, he got Iowa State. Yes, he has a couple rough years at the beginning, but then makes us a conference championship winner. brings us into March Madness talks again. I think he's going to do the same thing with the Huskers.
Mm.
That's my, and I think we'll never see Fred, like, I don't want to say it, but I don't think we'll see Fred Hoiberg in the NBA as a coach again. I think he's going to stick with college because he's already tried an NBA coach before.
Did did Josh say anything about that project he was working on?
It should be coming in, it's either late January. No, I think it's February for breast cancer awareness is his
Is
project.
and I just didn't know if he
No,
announced
he
it.
did talk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him do the shoes for the
Me
Huskers.
too.
Yeah, that's cool. 'Cause I know you're like, is there any chance I could be there
Yeah.
to?
And then unfortunately, fucking couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
So, but there was finally a long time coming for me taking a bold take on Iowa State.
Mm.
So, and I think that's a good way to wrap up the fucking hour and a half long podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So,
As we slow down on content, I'll have some stuff to talk about with UFC.
yeah. And we came up with a couple ideas, or at least I had some ideas for. I'd have to think what it is off the top of my head. Because I thought about it just before recording too, and now I'm blanking on it because you fed me that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember what it was. It's like looking at all the people that have it's one of the ideas, but like actually getting a proper tracker of all the people that have transferred for girlfriends.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, in college. Like
that's
that's another
a
yeah,
lot of data out there. I'm sure.
probably
I would
hundreds.
also be interested to see if like who would be able. You've seen those contests as like who name more Steelers than me.
Yeah.
I would like to. I would be interested to see if you can name more Steelers players before I name off more Rams players.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
interested on that one.
Um.
That or on like testing, like we test each other's fandoms.
Yeah.
I'd be interested on that one.
Okay. All right. So, I think this is a pretty good area to stop at. So, I'd like to thank you guys for joining the MattCast podcast. I'm Maddie Light, joined by my co-host Maddie J. I'm not gonna do.
No, I was
Yeah.
looking at the jar. I was like, say it.
Say it, bitch. Say my name.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
Thank you guys for joining the MattCast podcast.
Like, comment, share,
All that fun
Discord,
jazz. Yeah,
memes. Send it to our instas.
everything.